What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Now, it seems like David Fizdale is going to hold a lot of these players' feet to the fire all season long, as he should, as far as starting minutes, and he has good reason to. Now, in the matchup against the Miami Heat, this seems like this was the breaking point, especially for the Knicks coaching staff overall. Players like Enes Kanter, just lack of effort. You know, Whiteside was killing us on the rebounds, on everything. The Knicks only, as a whole team, only shot 9 free throws for the whole game. This type of lackluster effort is one thing for us to lose, but it's another thing for us to look like the old Knicks from last season and beyond, especially the years with Melo, where it's just like you have better talent than another team and you're just showing no effort. Now, the Miami Heat didn't even have Dion Waiters. They're not a three-point shooting team, and they play at a very slow pace. For the Knicks to be struggling as bad as they did, I mean, both teams are not good three-point shooting teams, but for the Knicks to be struggling and to get blown out the way they did in Miami, that was very telling. And it was the little things like, you know, keeping turnovers down, you know, keeping defensive intensity up. It's the little things against Miami that could have made us win. Miami's not a team that's going to blow you out as far as scoring and then, you know, fast pace. We actually play a faster style than Miami. Miami kind of like an old school style. It's like, you know, a kind of, you know, pound and grind style. You know, for the fact that we lost the way we did is unbelievable. And lineup changes do need to happen. Guys like Dotson have played a lot better this week. Von Lee have played a lot better. You know, it's sometimes you watch the Knicks, when the bench comes out, there's just more energy. This game, I don't know what happened, but this was really the breaking point, because we look like the old Knicks. When we lose, it's just lack of effort. And then the Knicks, we also have another issue with as far as closing games out. Now, in the game against the Warriors and in the game against Milwaukee, we play really well, especially defending the three-pointer against these teams. I mean, the Warriors only made 3 more three-pointers than the Knicks did overall. The Knicks defended the Warriors really well, but it seems like in these 2 games, closing these games out seems to be an issue. And I know Fizdale kept Frank on the bench in the 4th quarter, and a lot of people are upset over that. But it seems like the Knicks, you know, the starters seem to have an issue with closing the game out offensively at the end of the 4th quarter. Now, in the Knicks' second week, you know, like I said, our 3-point shooting percentages, we're not going to be that team this year. You know, overall, we do not shoot well from 3. I mean, we shot 36% against the Heat. We shot 34% against the Bucks. We shot 33% against the Warriors. And again, our opponents usually have 45% or above. If you look at most of our games this season, the Knicks actually finished worse in 3-point shooting percentage as a team than the other team. But what kept us in these games is that we're keeping our turnovers and, you know, we're pushing the pace, but we're keeping our turnovers down. That's what's keeping us in these games. Guys like Trey Burke, you know, have gone cold turkey. Alonzo Trier, the last 3 games, he's just been MIA. You know, he doesn't really put up any assists or rebounds or steals, but offensively, if he's not going, he's not really effective. Now, off the bench, maybe Trey Burke may be more comfortable, since that was a role he's always been assigned in most of his experience in the NBA. Going back to being on the Utah Jazz, he usually came off the bench, and perhaps he can create a spark. But yeah, that performance by Enes Kanter, they got to call that out. Like, that's not acceptable. And, you know, not everyone agrees with everything Fizdale does, but at least he's holding these guys accountable. And even if you're a starter and you're clearly the more talented player, he's going to hold your feet to the fire to maintain that position. So hopefully this is a theme that happens all season long, because that way players are competing in the games and they're also competing in practice to maintain their minutes in their starting positions, or just their positions off the bench. Like I said, our second week, the Knicks, you know, we played great against Milwaukee and against the Warriors. We stayed in the games, but it seems like we have an issue with closing these games out in the 4th quarter. There seems to be an issue. We do not play well in the 4th quarter. You know, I do not know why, but things seem to unravel in the 4th quarter for us. But that game in Miami was definitely a meltdown. But we do have 4 games coming up in our 3rd week of the season. We have 2 games on the road against Brooklyn and Indiana. And then we also have a home game against Dallas and Washington. And we also have no back-to-backs. So that's good. And these are very winnable games, especially with Washington. They are the more talented team, but they seem to have a breakdown on their end. I don't know what's going on with their team, but something's happening there. But hopefully we can capitalize off of that. But let me know what you guys think. This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and you guys stay safe. Peace.